A Brown County family allegedly received more than $20,000 in food stamps and medical assistance over the last 3 years. The problem? Prosecutors say they weren't eligible because the husband and father of 5 was working and making $31 an hour. Tonight, Fox 11 on special assignment will have an in-depth look at the case, and Robert Hornacek is here this morning with a preview. Good morning. Good morning,
Rachel. You know, food stamps and medical assistance are supposed to be for people in need. But prosecutors say more and more people in Brown County and across the state are taking advantage of the system. Tonight, we're going to highlight the case of 36-year-old Angela Burchett, who's charged with 2 counts of public assistance fraud. She allegedly received more than $22,000 in taxpayer-funded benefits while her husband was holding down a job. Now, there's not been a final ruling in the case about whether Burchett committed any wrongdoing because the case is still making its way through the legal system. But according to the criminal complaint filed against Angela Burchett, her husband, Bradley, was working and making $31 an hour at a railroad company. He had health insurance and worked 40 to 50 hours a week.
It does bother me because it really takes away from those that are in need, and we need to help the families and children in our community with our programs.
Now, coming up tonight at 9, we're going to talk more about this case, and we're also going to look at how Brown County is trying to combat welfare fraud. So that's tonight at 9.
All right, so how is this fraud committed?
Well, most of the time investigators say the person who's applying for assistance simply does not accurately report who's living in their home.
Okay.
In this case in particular, investigators say Angela Burchett applied for benefits, but she only listed herself and her children as living in their home. But investigators say that her husband was also living there too.
So how do they figure it out? How do they uncover what's happening?
Most of the time it's tips from the public. There's a lot of cases, there's a lot of people who are on public assistance, and most of the time it's a family, friend, a neighbor of somebody who's getting assistance who calls in and says, hey, this is going on, I want you to know about this. In fact, Brown County even has a fraud tip line set up, and you can simply call 920-448-6378 if you do know somebody in Brown County who you suspect is committing welfare fraud.
All right, and how big is this problem? Is this just a couple of people abusing this?
Well, it goes on throughout the state, but what investigators tell me is the overwhelming majority of people who are on public assistance follow the rules. They're reporting accurately who lives in their home, how much money they make, so on. But like any other program, there is some fraud. In fact, last year investigators looked at about 192 cases in Brown County alone. Half of those cases they found no fraud. The other half where they did find some fraud, they found nearly $750,000 in benefits that went out to people who should not have qualified.
Wow. So. Very interesting. Okay, so your full report tonight at 9.
Yep.
Robert Hornacek on special assignment. Good Day, Wisconsin. We'll be right back.